Vegeta, the other protagonist of Dragon Ball. Since he fights so often, he gets sent flying quite a bit when his power isn't enough. But basically, his pride is high, so he bravely charges in, no matter the situation. This time, I've compiled the enemies Vegeta likely despaired against from the bottom of his heart, so let's take a look together. Alright, here we go. First up is Krillin. He's an ally right off the bat. But this is from the Saiyan arc, meaning from the perspective when Vegeta was an enemy. He came to Earth to become immortal, but the low-class warrior Kakarot was unexpectedly strong, putting him in a huge pinch. Even his trump card, the Great Ape form, was cancelled because of some trash hiding nearby. From there, call it a miracle, or just Vegeta's string of bad luck, he was cornered. And in the end, it's the situation where Krillin is holding a katana against his immobilized body. With Vegeta's strength, he surely never faced a life-or-death crisis before, nor did he ever imagine being cornered on a planet of low-class warriors. What is this situation? Am I going to be killed by this trash? It's the moment he faced that unexpected ending. It is exactly that despair of is this where it ends? In the end, thanks to Goku's selfishness and nice play, he was let go, leaving while cursing there won't be a miracle next time. Even if it wasn't a it's all over kind of despair. As the prince's first setback, I think it left a pretty big mark. Next is Recoome, one of the Ginyu Force members. He fought in the Namek arc. Even before meeting, Vegeta showed signs of wanting to avoid combat, and that bad premonition hit the mark perfectly. With a ridiculous gap in power, he gave despair not only to Vegeta, but to the readers as well. And he takes damage, so you think it's a fight. Or so you'd thought. But this Recoome has toughness, reminiscent of Nappa. Even with tattered clothes and hair, he's still spry with no sign of going down. Plus, his natural psychopath remarks like any stronger attacks, if not, I'll kill you, are seriously scary. Actually, once Vegeta's limits were exposed, he shifted to his attack phase, keeping his cool while toying with the previous arc's boss, Vegeta like a ball. Furthermore, the chicken head in front of him is deadly enough on his own, yet there's the bonus of two more members of the same level waiting. Allies Krillin and Gohan were instantly killed when they tried to help. These mentally taxing situations must have eroded Vegeta's heart. At this point, Vegeta didn't have the hope Krillin's group had, that if Goku comes, it'll work out. Next is Final Form Frieza, the boss of the same Namek arc. The span feels too short, but he transformed, so let's count it separately. Now, the biggest trigger for despairing against Frieza was probably the gap in expectations. Vegeta used the Saiyan trait of getting stronger after reviving from near-death, executing a cheat strategy of getting half-killed on purpose to recover. Not thinking for a second he'd lose as a self-proclaimed Super Saiyan, he challenged Final Form Frieza, full of confidence and excitement. But the result is, as everyone knows, far from winning, he couldn't even deal damage, despairing to the point of wailing. He lost his will to fight instantly and got beaten to a pulp. The previous two were conjectures that he probably despaired based on the situation. But here, he clearly trembled with fear from the bottom of his heart. It's depicted that he even shed tears from overwhelming terror and despair, so it must have been scary. He wouldn't say I am a Super Saiyan without any basis. And that Vegeta surely believed he stood at the apex of the To have that result, while wrapped in such a sense of omnipotence, of course he'd despair and want to cry. Next is Metal Cooler, a movie character Frieza's brother who got mechanized and shiny. There's a trope that machine technology in the Dragon Ball world is unexpectedly formidable, and Metal Cooler might be the prime example of that. First, his strength is at a level where two Super Saiyans barely manage. From there, he automatically repairs even if parts of his body are destroyed, and he uses instant transmission, a pretty troublesome enemy. But the truly terrifying part starts here. Since Metal Cooler is a machine weapon, there's the punchline that mass production is naturally possible. In the story, despite finally defeating one body through a cope with Goku, immediately after, a swarm of hundreds of Metal Coolers appeared, telling someone, don't despair, here is asking the impossible. Looking just at the situation, it looks like way more of a pinch than Frieza's time, but when it goes this far, fear and tears probably all just retract back in. Goku was half laughing, Vegeta felt dizzy, and he charged in out of desperation. So, a nightmare where terror disappears, because it's gone full circle. Metal Cooler can be said to be one of the enemies Vegeta despaired against. It's worse than the despair of I thought I defeated him, but it didn't work. Next is Cell, the android arc boss, a miraculous product of mixed Saiyan cells and whatnot. Vegeta sees a painful experience here too. There are depictions of him despairing against Cell a few times. But the number one is definitely the warm-up, right after becoming perfect form. It was all good when he became Super Vegeta, in the room of spirit and time and overwhelmed second form. But he got cocky, let him become perfect form, and immediately after deciding, well, shall I kill him? The tables turned. Maybe frustration built up from being mocked by an old guy, putting Super in his own name. The moment he took the advantage, Cell started mocking Vegeta relentlessly. He fired the greatest final flash, causing a momentary expectation of victory to invite loud laughter. He regenerated right in front of him, using that gap to induce despair. Taking a hit on purpose, and half-laughing with a cool face, saying Super Vegeta, huh? Like this, he cornered him both physically and mentally. It certainly happened due to Vegeta's own actions, and while mocking back as much as he was mocked is fair, going this full throttle is, as expected, pitiful. Don't you have a human heart? You don't, huh? Despair caused by being knocked down right when wrapped in a sense of omnipotence, just like with Frieza. Moreover, this was completely self-inflicted and easily preventable, so the degree of despair must have been huge. By the way, another scene is probably where he apologizes to Gohan after being beaten by Perfect Cell. You can see a rare Vegeta who seems to have given up on everything. Next is Majin Buu, the strongest final boss of the original work, who buried countless warriors. He practically made Vegeta a deceased person and made him despair too. Here, let's talk mainly about the scene with Fat Buu. Vegeta purposely got caught in Babidi's spell and was brainwashed just to fight Kakarot. Because of that energy, Majin Buu revived, so he heads to subjugate him alone to take responsibility. He seemed to think Buu wasn't a big deal based on the Supreme Kai, but unfortunately, Buu's strength was the real deal. With off-the-charts regeneration, he snapped, saying you're already strong, being immortal is out of the question. Well, certainly, how are you supposed to fight an enemy who takes no damage, even if you pierce his stomach? Cell recovers to an extent, but this guy isn't something that lukewarm. I think it was mentally quite painful at the point of the first battle. But this isn't the end. Vegeta hugs Trunks at the end, thinks of his rival and wife, and selfless drugs. It's a tear-jerking curtain call, protecting precious things in exchange for his life. But surprisingly, Majin Buu suppressed that self-destruction without a scratch. He just resumes his Earth destruction tour with Babidi. They say dead men tell no tales, but this is the Dragon Ball world. Vegeta apparently watched the aftermath in the afterlife, and he must have been incredibly frustrated seeing him looking spry despite sacrificing his life. Being made to rematch a Buu who absorbed Ultimate Gohan when he came to Earth with a halo. Or being beaten solely to buy time in the Kid Buu fight. I feel like the damage received in the Buu arc is high overall. But if asked where he despaired the most, I guess it's the Fat Buu arc. The sense of powerlessness, when his power wasn't enough to protect what he finally found, must be exceptional. Finally, Broly. I think many people immediately think of this guy, given the theme of this video. He's a character who planted trauma in Vegeta that vividly. Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan, a form unique even among Super Saiyans. If you're a pure Saiyan, you instinctively sense that terror and lose the will to fight. Plus, he has ridiculous specs with cheap performance. Maybe there's a setting that he gets scared because of the thickness of his blood as a pure Saiyan and Prince. The moment Broly transformed, he went, it's no use, it's all over. Despite coming to defeat him with full confidence, he displayed an instant Tupinal gag fall that looks like idiocy at first glance. It's confirmed he despaired at an instinctual level at this point. But the sequence where he regains his pride once only to be defeated in an instant is part of the set. Actually, the power gap against Broly was at a level where it's a mystery how they won, so the battle record can't be helped. It's just that since the usual Vegeta is asterisk, that asterisk, seeing him chicken out like that makes you laugh when looking at it calmly. If there were other pure Saiyans, it might have been better, but because he was the only one, it became a despair scene handed down to posterity. The instinct bit might be unfair, but I think Broly is fitting to close this video. That's it for this video. It can't be helped that he has many frustrations, since he fights often, but what's truly amazing is Vegeta's pride to bite down on this despair and still continue fighting. A long battle record means a lot of growth. Don't forget this when you leave today. I've provided at least that much care. You ruined it. On this channel, I post Dragon Ball videos like this, so if you like, please subscribe and comment. Well then, definitely watch next time too.